Hey all, welcome back to another Gamers United video. I'm gonna do a quick video on one of my favourite games. It's Kerbal Space Program. I've done one of our articles, or one of the Wildcard Wednesdays on this game. It's just had an update a few days ago as well. Some collaboration with NASA. Something to do with asteroids or something, so I don't know, I haven't played it since then. I haven't actually played it in quite a while, so yeah, we'll jump straight into it, I think. Now, because it's a brand new patch that's come out, I think I will be starting brand new, so we will name it that. We'll do a career mode. Sandbox is a bit of fun, but career mode, I kind of enjoy career mode. It gives it a bit more of a bit more fun. Oh, they've added a NASA flag in. Of course they have. I always pick the Kerbal flag. It's mainly because the flags can be seen on both sides, and they've done it cheaply by making a mirror image on the back. So, say for instance, if you pick one of the squad ones, on one side it says squad nicely, and the other side it's got it all reversed and mirrored. It just looks horrible. So we'll do that, and we'll start. Yes, there's already a game there, but we'll override it because, yeah, since this is a brand new patch, I'd like to start out completely fresh. Now, this is a bit different. Look at the time acceleration down here. So here's your tracking station, your launch pad, the assembly building, research and development, the astronaut complex. That's for space planes. Cool. Alright. Let's take a look. Apparently you can track asteroids now or something like that. So here's Kerbin. There's the moon, or Mun, as it's known in this game. Minmus. It's the second moon that orbits Kerbin. Alright, we'll keep going out. Oh, an unknown object. That's cool. These are brand new. They're about the average size, around 7 to 10 meter range and radius. These are certainly not the largest objects out there. They're fairly massive. Cool. Nice to know, I guess. So yeah, so this new patch, apparently you'd build a rocket or something, and it's got an arm. I guess it's like a skill tester. You'd fly out, you'd grab it, and you'd bring it back or something. Yes, Kerbin, we know what Kerbin is, it's alright. But yeah, so I haven't really dealt with any of that kind of stuff. Some more planets and moons. Moho, Eve, Duna, the version of Mars in this game. Jewel. Elu is the furthest planet there is. So, so there is other ones out there. Another C class. Oh well, we won't waste too much time with that. We'll just go straight into Kerbin, I think. So we'll back out of the tracking station. Nothing really of importance there at the moment. We won't waste too much time. We'll go straight to the assembly building. Now, a lot of videos on YouTube, they cut out all this stuff, but because I'm not sure whether anyone's seen this stuff yet, so I'll just keep it in for now. So at the start of the game in career mode, you don't have that much to choose from, and in order to unlock stuff, probably should have shown you this. We'll go back out quickly. We haven't lost anything, so it's okay. In order to unlock things, we have to spend currency called science, which is up here. Science. At the moment I have none. And yes, from there you unlock stuff. So here's what I've got at the moment. There's all my available parts here. Start, the technology we start out with. All Kerbals don't have very much in the way of research. So if we spend 5 science to start off with, we get the basic rocketry kit, which adds another 4 parts. Some fuel tanks, a mystery goo container, which helps do more science, and a stack decoupler, which actually separates your rockets. So you can make, 2-stage, 3-stage, 5-stage rockets with them. So anyway, so our first goal will be to create a small rocket and do some science to get something back to spend so we can improve our craft. So you always start with a command pod, always. So that's our basic command pod. So we'll put that up here. Now, because we do not have a separator, I don't think, unless they've changed this. Controls, nothing in there. Structurals, just that. Dynamics. Science. So, no. So what we need is a parachute. Otherwise, our Kerbals will come crashing down to the planet and they will die on re-entry. Got no control surfaces or tail fins or anything like that, so there's no aerodynamic stuff. The only structural stuff is a girder segment. A lot of people do put these on the sides. I will show you that in a second. See, what we need now is propulsion. So we've got a solid fuel booster and some fuel tanks. Now, what we can do, there are 2 options here. We can put some together like that and dump the liquid fuel engine there, and that's good enough. Or we could just stick one of them on there. Now, a solid fuel rocket, most of you probably know, it burns its fuel completely until it's empty, and then that's it. Whereas the liquid fuel, we could attach that and we'll have throttle control and so forth. So at this stage in the game, it really doesn't matter too much. You could build a very basic rocket. You could attach solid fuel rockets to the sides of it, but you got to remember you will not be able to decouple them. So whatever goes up will come down. If it's too heavy, this parachute will not be able to save you. If you've got solid fuel rockets attached to the side of it, yeah, you'll either rip the parachute off or you'll come down with too much force anyway and you'll kill yourself. So what I like to do is just use a simple solid fuel rocket. It'll just burn out and then come back to the ground. It's got a decent amount of thrust, so it's all good. Now what we need is, see, what some people will do is attach, something like that, and put it down to the bottom, and that way it'll give them something to sit on the launch pad. At this point, I don't see the point in it really. A lot of people will do it, but I personally don't. So this is, it's just basically an antenna. So that way when you're up there, you can transmit back your data. But apart from that, that's really all you can do at this point. There's no extra science stuff you can do. So yeah, that's it. And we'll call this Testcraft Mark 1. There we go. That'll do. And save that. And we'll stick it on the launch pad. Loading. Sometimes it takes a little while to boot up everything. So there you go. There's our tiny little rocket. Now before we do anything, you have to remember that you can get science pretty much from anything in this game. So at this point, you see there's the assembly building. But yeah, at this point, what you can do is right click on that and go to crew report. Record the crew's assessment of the situation. So there you go. We can keep the data or we can transmit it. I think we'll just transmit it at this point. Yeah, we'll transmit it. Why not? See, so if we transmit it, you'll see the aerial has come out. It's transmitted the data and it goes back in. Done. See, now everything does cost electric charge. We'll see up here with the resources. Model propellant, don't worry about that too much. There's our solid fuel and our electric charge. You can get Jebediah. Yeah, we probably should have picked someone else, but Jeb's a champ, so it's all good. But yes, you would have in later stages solar panels. You can get engines that when they're thrusted up, they do give you back some electric charge, but because this is a solid fuel rocket, I don't think we'll get any back. But anyway, it's no big deal. Either way, we've just earned ourselves a little bit of science just by doing that. So we'll launch. Now see, if this was a normal rocket, we would thrust up using left shift and throttle down using the left control. But because this is a solid fuel rocket, we don't have to. It burns at full thrust until it's completely spent, and then it will come falling back down. So the Earth, not the Kerbal. So ready? We'll launch in 3, 2, 1, fire. Oh! Okay, I see what I've done. This is probably going to end badly. It did. Yeah. Ah. This is the joys of Kerbal. Okay. We will go back out of this. Lift off. Jeb was killed. It's okay though. And we'll revert back to launch. That should do. Now, I don't know if we have to do our crew report again. No, we don't. We've already done, so that's okay. So that's fine. We'll just ignore that. Now see, Jebediah, because he's in an orange uniform, he's basically immortal. He's one of 3 astronauts or Kerbal nauts that will not die. There's Bill, Bob, and Jebediah. There are many other astronauts or Kerbal nauts now as well. They're all in white uniforms. Those ones can die. They have permadeath. So once they're dead, that's it. You can't get them back. But these 3, because they're such champions, and Jeb loves... See, there he goes. Because he loves risking his life, he cannot be killed off. It's also because he's one of the 3 originals in the game. So everyone's got a special place in their heart with Bill, Bob, and Jeb. But anyway, the problem there was, can we see here? That's my staging. So when I fire my first stage, it actually activated both of them at the same time. So it activated my engines and launched my parachute at the same time. So what we want to do is put another part here, drag that down. There we go. So that one will fire, and then I can manually fire that one. So we will have again in 3, 2, 1, fire. There we go. That's much smoother. Alright, so now that we're a little bit higher up, do another crew report. The shore's looking inviting. Watch the waves roll to the coast. That's nice. 3.5 seconds. So we'll transmit that as well. Why not? There we go. 5 data received. Okay. So there you go. You can see that we're now out of fuel. We are still flying up, getting rather high above the launch center. There's the moon there. That looks nice. The sky is slowly starting to go black. I think at about 10,000 meters is when you should usually start doing your turn, if you're going to do gravity turns. But that's, if I do another playthrough of this, then I might get into that later on. So we're almost at my apex now. There we go. Now I'm falling back down. So I'll do another crew report. Cruise assessment. So it's another thing. Instead of transmitting this, because I don't really have enough electric charge anyway, we'll keep the data. So there we go. Now I am plummeting back to the planet. Yeah, so this is probably... I'll wait for a bit before I pop the chutes. Or the chute, since there is only one. That plummets and plummets and plummets. You see, this is where, if I had a separator, I would have separated the capsule from the fuel canister, but yeah. Okay, so we'll pass the 10,000 mark, coming plummeting down at just over 200 meters a second, so that's a fair speed. Yeah, almost 5,000 meters. This parachute will not open until it hits about 500 meters, so you usually do have to wait for a bit. I can pop it early, but it will not really slow us down that much. So what I'll do is, let's see, I can turn the ship a bit, or turn the rocket a bit. Try and turn it around. Ready, and about now. Pop that. At 500, whoosh, there we go. Yeah, that slowed us right down. Now see, this could be a problem too. Usually anything over 5 meters per second, when it hits the ground, the fuel tank or anything that it hits the ground with first, it usually does explode. So I will not be surprised if the fuel tank here, the empty fuel tank, explodes. But usually that's enough to cushion the capsule, and the capsule is reinforced, so it should be alright. We should be fine. So it takes a little while to come back down. You can time accelerate, but it's not exactly a time acceleration, because what it does, it actually does speed up the game, but it speeds up the physics too. So if you hit the ground while you're time accelerating, it actually speeds up your impact, so you will probably die. And boom, there we go. I was totally expecting that to happen. But Jeb is in here safe and sound. What we can also do is, now that we're on the ground, see, you can review the report up there. But what we can also do is click on the pod and go for an EVA. And out pops Jeb. There he goes. Alright, let go of that Jeb. And go for a bit of a walk. So, here we are, and that's Jeb. Even though he's in a yellow uniform and the orange uniform in the portrait, he's actually wearing a white spacesuit, but that doesn't matter. What does matter is that he can walk around, go for a bit of a run. He can also, if we right click on Jeb, he can do an EVA report. So I don't think a spacesuit was entirely necessary to get here, was it? No, probably not. But we'll keep that data. And you can take a surface sample. The substance is what makes the scientists yell at us when we go into the labs without cleaning our boots first. So yes, you have dirt. Well done, Jeb. You have dirt. 9 science for bringing in some dirt. That's alright. And we can plant a flag too. Why not? There you go, Jeb. Stick it in the ground. Doosh. There's our flag. So, this is our first site. So we'll name it First landing site, and we can put the text as here Jeb landed very hard but safely. Is that safely? I think I've spelled it wrong. It doesn't matter. It can stay there for the ages. Safely. There we go. Boom. So if we click on the flag, read plaque. Here Jeb landed very hard but safely. Plaque on first landing site reads. There we go. Then you can always take it down if you feel like being a party pooper. So we'll get back into the capsule. Grab onto that. We'll board that. See, and service sample was added and the EVA report was added. All of your reports and everything gets stored in the crew hatch, on the crew capsule. Unfortunately, it only holds a certain amount. I think you can transfer things. I'm not exactly sure how to do that yet, since it's been a while since I've played Kerbal, but yes. So what we do, we go up here and we click Recover Vessel. And we wait for a little bit while it loads. And there we go. Crew report from Kerbal's upper atmosphere. So is it 5 altogether? Surface sample from Kerbal Space, or Kerbal Space Center, I guess. So 30 data gathered. Data value was 0.3 of that, so it was 9 science altogether. EVA report from Kerbal Space Center was 8 with the same data value, so it was 2.4. And recovery of a vessel that survived a flight. Barely. So that was actually 1 data, but the data value was times by 5. So we get 5 science for that. So 19.9 science for that mission, and because we did the crew report before, when we stuffed up our flight, we got a total of 24. So done. And we'll go in here and spend our science. Basic rocketry, yes please. And then we go. So now we can get general rocketry, more engines, more fuel, more ambitious ideas. So there's some extra fuel tanks. It costs 20 science, so we can't afford that at the moment. You get stability, which is winglets and whatnot. There's a winglet. There's a radial decoupler, which comes in handy if you've got extra. It's a decoupler that sticks on the side of your rocket, so that way if you've got solid fuel boosters on the side of your rocket, you can decouple them before they crash into the ground. And yeah, aerodynamic nose cone, from what I've heard, these actually do help with the aerodynamics, but I don't know for sure. I know a lot of people don't bother them with them because it's just extra mass. And survivability, the art and science of landing and walking away from it. So there's a small liquid fuel engine, some landing struts, which is always good, and extra parachutes. Extra parachutes are good if you plan on landing a very heavy craft, especially if it's going to have landing legs, and it'd be like the lunar lander that actually landed on the moon. You'd have extra parachutes when it comes back down to the planet. Probably have 3 or 2 more of them. But yes, so 15 science for that, 18 science for that one, and 20 for that one. So this one's out because we cannot afford to get that one. We can get the winglets, and we could get the survivability. It's a hard decision. It really is a hard decision. We could get that. I'm not a big fan of these winglets because they've got no control surfaces, I don't think. So although they're there, they don't exactly work or do much. Decouplers are very good though. I reckon we will get this one. That way I can have some solid fuel rockets or solid fuel boosters, and we can decouple them. An aerodynamic nose cone. I use these simply because I don't know if they are aerodynamically good, and just because it makes the craft look a bit better. I'm probably wasting fuel by using them, but I don't know for sure. So we'll get that. Bam. So this one here, 45 science, and this has got a lot of struts and another radial decoupler, tricoupler. Yep. This one here, there's the winglets. These are the ones I usually like using because they've got control surfaces and actually can help you steer when you're going through the atmosphere. Another cockpit, a Stayputnik. That would be for your satellites and so forth. Inline reaction wheels. From what I know, these are good for if you're going to use one of these probes or satellites. It's probably good to have an inline reaction wheel because it helps you steer a bit better. Because it doesn't, these cores, they don't have very much in the way of torque, so they can't really turn very well or steer very well. But anyway, I think maybe we'll leave it there for now, because this video is going to get too long if I launch another mission. So yeah, if you've enjoyed this, then I might carry on and maybe do a bit of a let's play through Kerbal, just for a little bit. I mean, there are a lot of videos out there of Kerbal. I watch a lot of Scott Manley's videos. He's the god of gods when it comes to Kerbal Space Program. He knows so much about it, but it's mainly because he's probably like, I don't know, he's studied a lot of astrophysics and all that kind of stuff, so he knows how the science works. But anyway, like I said, if you enjoyed this and you want to see a bit more of it, then either put a comment below or a comment in our Facebook group that we've got as well. And yeah, I'd love to get any feedback that you've got. So till next time, have fun and keep gaming.